Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm going to do another one of my little Q&A videos that you have seen one of Zach Corbridge. I'm going to do another one today on our guest, Crew Johnston. And again, I'm not going to call him a guest, I think of him as a friend. He actually lives with me, he's my roommate. And we're going to ask him pretty much the same questions that I asked Zach. But I just like hearing people's input in the same questions and hearing what they have to say about these questions. Like how popularity or the public media impacted our lives, or what we live in, like the world around us and how we live in it. Here he comes right now. Crew, come right in. Take a seat.
Thanks, John.
Oh, thank you, and welcome to Chewy's World. You're my second guest on my channel. How do you feel about that?
Pretty excited,
Yep.
pretty stoked.
Anything you want to say to my friends that? Oh, yep, that's him. And Crew, now explain how you got that name.
From my aunt, actually. She's my mother's younger sister, but she was pregnant before my mother was with me. And she found out she was having a girl, so her dreams of naming a boy Crew, spelled K-R-U, were shattered. Instead, I have a cousin named Chambrea.
Oh, wow.
My mother liked the idea, but hated the spelling. So she based it off of like Motley Crew, J. Crew, and so I got stuck with a pretty cool name.
There you go. Okay. Explain what it was like for you when you were a kid. What did you do before, after school, during school, and what did you do on weekends as a kid?
So as a kid, I was really big into sports. I played anything from football, track and field, wrestling, hockey, baseball, you name it. I tried it. So my parents definitely got me involved in a lot of different things, especially when I was young. Anything from t-ball. You know, like any other kid, I enjoyed video games, playing outside, camping. Really built a love for the outdoors, especially being from Montana.
Yep. And that kind of brings me into that kind of field. And that is explaining how that video game world, or the world of popularity, pop culture, public media, has impacted your life. Not just pop culture, but also social media and humanities. Like, we were talking actually not too long ago, and you were mentioning a lot of things. Maybe you could elaborate on what you were talking about.
The big thing that John and I were discussing is the whole aspect of the social environment, how we're all kind of started with this mold as we're born. Genetics, they kind of play a role in everyone's lives. You are kind of like your parents, as much as I hate to admit it. I'm a lot like my father. However, the social environment that we live in, because we as humans are very, very social beings, and I found that little experiences tend to mold us one way or the other.
What do you think about celebrities or famous places?
Famous places and celebrities.
What do you think about them? Tell me, do you think of them as actual people like I do, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, people are people. This is something I'm coming to learn in my work, in my travel. I like to travel, and I like to see and meet new people around the world. And everyone has a story to tell. That's one of the reasons why we do like watching TV and movies and reading books. I like to pick up a great book because it has a great story. And everyone has that story. It's the common thing that makes us unique because we've all gone through those different experiences and we can all learn from those. Celebrity's just a person. Characters, they're an idea. A place can be a beautiful place to go and visit, but you can find beauty anywhere. You just have to have the eye for it.
Exactly. That's what influenced me, because we have so much things in this world that people are taking advantage of or abusing in any way. Because where do you work at? That brings us to our next question.
Sure. I work first for my dad at Impact Drafting and Design, but I believe you're asking about my character involvement in the entertainment of Walt Disney World.
And pretty much, how does that make you feel? Does people come up to you and say, oh, you're in this thing or whatever? Like, how does that impact you? Does that?
You know, at first, I began to get that, you know, the term I use, runner's high, where people are complimenting you and cheering you on, and you just feel, wow, I feel a little elevated. But at the same time, I quickly learned that, you know, people are people. There's not that much of a difference. The Kardashians aren't any thing more unique than you or I. They're just down to earth people, and they should, to recognize that, or we need to recognize that, or whatever. And so when people came up to me and said, oh, hey, you're in entertainment, I had to learn how to remain humble.
What inspired you to get into entertainment?
That's a really, really good question. Ultimately, I came back from England after taking a break from school for 2 years, trying to figure out if I wanted to go into the Marine Corps or if I wanted to go back to construction, which they've got hard work. I respect that. I did that for 5 years. It's something I'm trying to pull myself out of. And if I could, be a superhero in a movie, how cool would that be? So I figured I'd give it a try, and ended up in theater at school and had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, and it ultimately built an interest in the entertainment world. I certainly know a lot more, not only about acting, but about the technical side of it, about the financial side of it, and it's been a great experience so far.
And sooner or later, we will be doing a monologue, him and I, so do watch for that. But anyway, just to finish up some things here, you also did something for your dad. What do you do for your dad again?
The official title is a AutoCAD drafting intern.
Okay.
It led me into still wanting to view structures and houses. I can't go into a room or a house without looking at and admiring someone's work, especially if it's a difficult job, and I've known how difficult it is. And so, having grown up with my father being a draftsman and my mother being a artist of sorts, then drafting just kind of came as a natural art to me.
But now, if someone's trying to get into entertainment or drafting, construction, or whatever, what kind of advice would you give them?
Go for it. That's the foremost thing. My dad and I, we have a saying from one of my favorite sports, ice hockey. And
he likes to ice hockey. He likes to roller skate.
I can't remember if this came from a hardworking ice hockey player or some famous name out there, but my dad and I share this quote of seeing the net, seeing yourself accomplish that goal instead of seeing the goalie. And so while all these obstacles may exist, and you have to recognize that they are there, see the potential and work towards that potential.
But someone with autism cannot determine those obstacles.
That's true.
So how would you explain that for an autistic person like me?
Hard work and dedication. If you've got the right mindset, you can do anything in this world.
And that brings me to another strange question. How do you know what autism is?
I ran across a few autistic individuals while in England, and ultimately, regardless of what people would deem to be their disability, I saw it as a blessing in a sense that I got to know these different individuals on a whole different level. They were very friendly. They were very unique in a creative sense in some cases, in a very orderly sense in others, and I couldn't help but become their friend.
Now, taking that and taking everything that we talked about, if there was to be a book written about you, what would it be about? This is the hardest question that is here. Huh? Why you? It's everyone. This is the hardest question.
This definitely is a hard question. I have to say growing up and getting through social challenges, whether that's in playtime, recess at school, to where I'm at right now in dating and meeting my coworkers and trying to make new connections and new friends. And that whole shift.
And finally, how would you like to be remembered?
As a guy someone can count on. And not just someone, but anyone can count on. Whether that's being trusted, trustworthy, the Boy Scouts, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Just someone that you can call, you can ask for help, and you can rely on.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being here, Crew.
Thanks,
Crew
John.
Johnston, you'll be seeing quite a bit every now and then. So until we meet again, John Toomey saying, you are you, and I am me. Together we can make a difference. Is that right, Crew?
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.